Video Science, the life cycle of plants with Mr. Jaffe.
If we want to learn about plant life cycles, we need look any further than the dandelion. Here we've got all the parts that we need to learn about it. When the dandelion starts as a seed, it comes out, its leaves open up, and eventually it forms a bud. Down here, you look close, you can see, here's a bud next to it that's just beginning to open. And the dandelion, we would call this a flower once it opens, but each one of these is a tiny flower. That's why in early spring, between late March and early May, the dandelion is a very important source of food for insects who are just coming out of hibernation in the spring and have a lot of work to do. Ants have got to build nests, bees have got to start gathering pollen. All of it has to happen now. And when the dandelion keeps going, the life cycle continues. Here we see at the top of this stem, we see what are called the apopi. And each one of these little fluffy guys is actually carrying a seed. If I'm careful enough, I can pull one of them off. It wants them to fly off anyway. You can see on the bottom there, we've got some seeds attached, and this fluffy stuff will have them float away into the wind. If I flick this one, we can disperse the seeds and give the dandelion a little bit of a push in the continuing of its life cycle. The dandelion. Stop and think about the plants that you see growing right around you in your neighborhood. Over here, we've got this green, leafy looking plant called Japanese knotweed. You can see it's called knotweed because of the way that it grows. It grows, the stem goes up, and then here we call this one knot here. The stem grows again. You see another knot. Right now, the new plants have a flexible stem. That means we can bend it, but later on, it's going to get a lot tougher and almost like wood. Some kids call this city bamboo. Let's check out some other places that the knotweed is growing. Down here, you can see these tiny things that we call shoots coming out of the ground. This one is even coming right out of the sealer in the sidewalk. That's this sticky stuff that holds the cement together here. This one's coming right out. These did not come from seeds. These shoots came from the root system, although this plant definitely came from a seed at one point. And that's what we're talking about today. Seeds, fruits, plants, and the plant life cycle. Let's check it out. You can see that once the knotweed takes root and finds a good, nutritious place to live, like this soil, it can really take off, and there's not much that can stop it from growing. It's even able to block out all the other kinds of plants. If you break apart the stem of the knotweed, you can see that the structure is kind of stringy. But later, when those strings get hardened and they grow taller, it becomes very strong. When it dries out, it's almost like wood. That's why some kids call this city bamboo, Japanese knotweed. I am the walking plant, and my walking plant sensors have picked up that you kids do not know enough about the plant life cycle. Animals need to appreciate us plants because we grow. Let's check it out. Look over here. We've got the beginning, the seed. The seed goes into the soil or the water, and we have a sprout or the new plant. Then, as the little seedling grows, eventually the adult plant, and then we see at the top of the adult plant the flower. And then after that, the fruit. Fruit doesn't have to be sweet. It could be a bean pod. Look at this tiny bean. I hope you appreciate beans for what they really are. This little bean is a tiny little bundle of information. It has everything it needs to grow a new plant. Inside here, we've got food for the new plant. Inside here, we've got signals to tell the plant when to grow. I just need to see the bigger piece. Where is it? It's right over here. This bigger piece will show you. Here we have the seed coat on the outside. We flip it around and we can see the little tiny plant inside getting ready to grow. It's not time yet because this seed coat on the outside, some of it washes away. And only then does the little plant start to grow. The little leaves start to open up, and what goes down? The roots, something called the radicle, comes out, goes down into the soil, and starts to get all of those nutrients up into the new plant getting ready to grow. But this stuff out here, this is all the nutrients needed for the plant to first start growing when conditions are right. I know you've learned about plants today, and I'm finally happy about it. See you next time on Video Science.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Scrambles, do you like science?